All right, Burnt Hands Perspective right here, sitting here with my two buddies, go way back in time. Of course, Kristen, always here with me on the show, and I'm here with her either way.
Hi.
Depending on which one of us you watch. Probably her. She's much better to look at than I am, but hey, I try. Anyway, so we go way back, guys. This is the Greek connection. We're talking Greek today. We're going to Greece.
It's all Greek to me.
Probably not probably, it is my top 3 cuisines in the world.
It is. It's one
Italian,
yep.
Greek, Thai.
Oh, okay.
Flavor explosions.
Okay.
But Greek to me is everything Italian when it isn't, right?
Mm.
So everything that if I ever say, man, this could be a little more Greek, it's the only time I say it. So meaning I love this stuff, bro. I love the feta cheeses. I love that's so basic to say, right? That's the most basic shit to say until you've gone there and ate it. Then it's a whole different world, right? Yeah. It's like eating mozzarella. Most people think of mozzarella, they think about pizza or cheese sticks or the little string cheeses or something until you go to Italy and get mozzarella di bufala, right? So if you go to Greece and eat the feta cheese there, it's
totally different.
Totally different. It brings you to another place in it and all that shit. So what I'm going to say is this, man. We go all the way back to the bars, back when we were young, as does most people on this show because we live in a small world. So here's what I remember the most. The first time I remember you 3 guys, your brother John's not here right now. He couldn't be here, but this is how I remember you first. You ready for this?
I don't know.
You don't know what he's going to say.
You might remember
this.
I'm in the bar, drunk as fuck. Last call. Last call. You remember that? Last call, and I smell something. I'm like, what the fuck is that, right? And my buddy Ben and I were sitting there one time, and we're like, what was that? What does that smell? These 3 guys are walking around the bar with a fucking, like a tray, an aluminum tray with aluminum foil on top, with fucking chicken skewers that they grilled out, these Greek bastards. And they got the seasoning on
chicken or pork, one of the two,
And they're walking through the souvlaki in the store. You're young. We're all kids right then.
Yeah.
We're like 19, 20, 21 years old, right?
And tell the secret, we were there early, but that's
I'm saying
in the bars
Just
early.
pretend.
Let me tell you what,
21.
they would walk through the bar at the end of the night and sell them for like $2-3 a piece or something, right? I'd be like getting handfuls of them. And that's when we met. And I'm like, these guys love food as much as I do. And they're learning how to make money on it, right?
Yeah.
So Kristen, you probably don't. I don't know if you remember that. You were probably working at the time. Maybe
I was working. I was always working.
That's what I mean.
Everybody was up there having fun. I was always working.
She was taking
not
care
that I
of
wasn't having fun,
taking
but
care
I
of
was.
us.
I was not.
She was getting us ready
as
for the
drunk
food.
She was
at that
keeping us
point.
hydrated.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
for
from
sure.
that point on, I knew I had a fucking relationship with you guys, and right away we started connecting. Then I ended up dating a Greek girl at that time, and then I got more introduced to the culture, and that was an amazing time too, because that's what really got me involved with the culture and being around you guys and meeting you guys and everything else there. We're still friends to today, me and her. And Peggy, what's up? You're out there. Anyway, so that was a great time in life to be introduced to such a culture, because I've always grew up Italian. I had Greek friends, but I was never introduced to their Greek lifestyle, the cooking, and it was so similar, right?
Yep.
So the way you guys, you have a lot of similar dishes that kind of translate to Italian. Maybe it's just because of the Greek and Roman connection back in history or whatever it may be. But your versions of lasagna, your versions of eggplant, your versions of pastas and baked dishes and things like that. Go ahead and spit some of them out.
And I mean, even the bread, all the way to the bread.
The bread.
A lot of our artisan type bread, stuff like that.
Moussaka,
Moussaka,
which is like the two different types of lasagna. One's with eggplant potatoes, the other one's with a penne pasta or type of noodle with a bechamel, ground beef. Then a lot of stewed dishes as well too.
A lot of nutmeg.
Yes.
Herbs that we don't really
mint.
see. A lot of mint.
But it also depends on the parts of Greece that you're from.
Yeah.
Like my family's from Central Greece. We didn't use a lot of nutmeg or a lot of mint.
Now, Central Greece, you say, is that Central Islands?
No, it's Central Greece,
the
actually.
actual
Greece
mainland.
itself. Yeah, the mainland, yes.
Gotcha.
And so we didn't use a lot of nutmeg and mint, but when I went to my aunts or went to other people's houses, they had mint, they had nutmeg, all that stuff was in it. It's
Depends
pretty
on where you
similar, but you had that different.
regional
Yeah.
culture. Like
So Greek culture is huge, and the Greek food is huge, and the Greek communities are big, right?
Yeah.
You guys throw parties and eat, man. It's not a joke.
like thousands of people.
It's a fucking festival.
There's 15 of us, and we cook for 150.
Yeah.
Right, and you all eat it.
And we all eat it.
You eat it all, I'm saying, bro.
We all eat it,
and,
for sure.
And it's all fresh, and it's right up my alley. A lot of lamb, fish. The fish is off the hook,
Yeah.
right? So when you guys go back to Greece quite often.
Not as often as we like, but yes, we get back. We were back there. We were there 2 years ago.
When you're there, when you're getting there, you're on the airplane, you're getting ready to land, something's going through your mind when it comes to food and shit.
Yeah.
What's the first thing on your mind?
Where am I going to eat?
But what is it you're
What's
looking
the
for?
first food?
I want the souvlaki, which is the pork on the
That's
skewer.
it.
Yeah.
Or
And it's different there, right? It's
Oh
different.
man, it's
You can't get it right.
Well, look, everything in general is different there. Number one, I believe because everything, it's 95% of it's organic.
Yes.
Correct.
You can
The
go
tomatoes, everything tastes different.
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
Potatoes, tomatoes. I mean, a lot of
Cucumbers.
stuff's grown locally. It's not.
Yeah, especially if you go to the villages where my parents are from. You literally sit down. Us four sit down and order a meal. We want chicken. The chicken's out back, hanging out till we order it,
Wow.
Right.
and then
That
And it's
is
a
done.
wrap.
yeah.
Not like the chickens
It's a
here
wrap.
we discussed in the other
exactly.
episodes.
No, yeah,
Yeah.
those chickens
The
aren't slimy.
potatoes are grown in the yard.
In the
The
backyard,
tomatoes,
yeah.
the cucumbers, everything is.
So the best part, so when I'm going thinking about my cuisine, Italian cuisine, when I'm ready to eat, I'm always thinking of it all day long. And right now I'm thinking of it. I want first thing that comes to my mind is basil. That's the first thing that comes. For some reason, I just love it. It's the best smell, the best taste, the best everything in the world to me. My number one trigger is basil, fresh basil. I love it. And with you guys, it's the same except for it's oregano.
Oregano, yeah.
So when I go to Greece, man, I just smell that fucking oregano, and it comes out on tomatoes, it comes out on cheese,
Everything.
feta cheese, it comes out on everything. And I'll never forget, I was in Ingumenica, right?
Gumenica, yeah.
Right, and I went to this restaurant that was not supposed to be a restaurant. I think it was more supposed to be like a mechanic shop or something. I don't know, but it was. They brought out this pot of beef broth, right, and they put it on this burner, right. And the only experience I've ever had like this in my culinary world is one time when I was in Hungary. They do the goulash the same type of way. They come out on the fire with this crock. They put it in front of you and they kind of cook it in front of you and you serve out of it, right, on the table. It's a hole with a fire in it. Well, this guy brought out this pot of lamb broth. Straight, you could smell it, the foaming. It was ugly. It wasn't presented right. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? You know what I mean? And he takes pasta, spaghetti, and just dumps the raw spaghetti in this lamb broth. And I'm thinking to myself, what is going on in my life right now? Why are Greeks cooking spaghetti, first of all? Second of all, what is happening here? You know? And he comes out and he puts the Greek cheese on it, and I forget what it's called. It's like a white crumbly cheese, real soft, not feta, but it's just a very soft, mild cheese.
It's white.
It's white.
They call it manuri, and
Okay.
it's a different type of feta.
Okay,
But
good.
yeah,
and it's
similar
very
to that,
mild,
yeah.
very
Yep,
clean.
yep.
And he sprinkled that on there and kind of tossed it like we would. No broth, though, just the pasta out of the broth, no strain or nothing, just, into
Probably
the
with his
bowl.
hands, right?
And he put the fucking cheese in there and tossed it. A little bit of oregano on top. I'm telling you all, man, I eat pasta as a professional. This was some of the best shit I ever ate in my life. I don't know if that makes sense to you, but it was the broth you cooked the noodles in, almost like pho or something.
Yeah.
But it just the pasta, spaghetti with that cheese on it, and the
Out of a mechanic shop.
it was
Yes, sir.
it was a restaurant that looked like it was just a couple tables in a garage. It looked like shit.
Yeah,
It didn't look like a place that you should be eating in. But it was, I'm telling you, it was some of the best shit I've ever had in my life. I still think of that to this day. And I don't know if I can go back to that island and figure out where the hell it
Where it
was.
was.
I don't even know where it was.
If it's even still there at this point.
Right. I was with a friend
That would be the question.
who's a Greek guy there. And we were going to check on some motorcycle parts, and across the little place over there was this guy. He goes, "Come on, you're gonna love it. Trust me, I'm gonna love it. I'm gonna love eating what this guy's eating for lunch right here. Who's this guy?
And it was that good.
It was that good.
Well,
It
I
was
mean, going to
fucking
Greece
amazing.
ruined me. I mean, it ruined me coming back here to eat food here
Oh,
because it was, I mean, like Greek salad. Like I can't eat Greek salad with lettuce in it.
Yeah,
Like I
right.
can't do that. It's not. And then once I had it there, the way that it is prepared or supposed to be prepared, there was no coming back. So now I'm ruined. I don't.
Yeah.
And I don't eat lettuce really, anyways. I don't like green. But
Right.
it's just,
But
it's just one of the things. It ruined
the funny
me.
thing is getting a Greek salad there with a pile of French fries on it and stuff. Everything's beautiful, man.
And the fries are hand cut.
Yeah, they're
cooked in
delicious.
in a
Amazing.
pan.
And they're golden brown. They're not white.
beautiful,
They're fucking good, dude. And the salt on it's better. Everything's good. Look,
Now we're
look.
all, you can tell
look,
we
Scott
get
was over there
hungry in the day
drooling.
because this is the conversation. But growing up with the food culture and bringing it back here, so you have the restaurant, like, how much of it do you get to really stick to?
Greek food, in a sense, we used to do actually one night a week. We used to have a Greek night and do Greek foods. And my aunt, who's obviously Greek, she would make 2 or 3 dishes, and then that's what we would have that day. And we did well. she's just gotten older now. I mean, I can pull the weight, but I think it's not a lot of people. You get a lot of people in there that want it. The presentation of it, like I was telling you a second ago, isn't always the greatest because we talk chicken and potatoes, right? So my mom growing up, chicken and potatoes was a big pot, big pan. She threw potatoes in, chickens in, she marinated everything, put it in the oven, it came out. We all just threw it on the plate and ate.
Right. There was no garnishing.
Yeah,
It's set
yeah.
up
How do
and-
you present that to, when you have
It's
a
very
restaurant?
rustic.
Yes. Same with like, it's what they call uvetzi, which is a
lot of
veal.
stewed.
Yes.
It just doesn't present so good, but
Yeah.
it's fucking amazing.
Oh, it's
so
unbelievable.
delicious.
Flavor's amazing.
It's unbelievable.
It's so delicious. So, like Kristen's saying, so when you come in, you guys have restaurants, diners, and they're amazing. I go twice, 3 times a week, for real. Not joking.
Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. It's great.
Appreciate it.
So everything that you guys do is the highest quality at the level you're at, right?
Yep.
So you have great burgers, you have great everything you guys do is with love. When you put the Greek food, like I think what she's saying is it's hard to get the community enlarged to just have a Greek restaurant, right? Is that what I'm seeing here locally?
Yes. I mean, there's been a few, but they've
Yeah, there's a
never
few.
really
Yeah.
advanced. They've never stayed long.
It's not like Italian food where people just go want it.
Right.
And here's a good thing. Maybe I'm wrong. Correct me, please. American Italians have a different palate than Italians.
Yeah.
I am an Italian restaurant, more European than I am American. Once a week, I have an Italian American Heritage Night. That's out of respect for the heritage of Italian Americans. But I don't see that much in Greek food. Greek doesn't. You've never really been overrun with the American Greek food, have you, or have you? Is there American Greek food that you don't that isn't really
Like the
Greece?
gyro.
You know?
Like the gyro here, what you get here is nothing what you would get in Greece.
That's the pile of French fries on the meat and all that.
on the
in
meat
Greece.
with the
Pita
sandwich with the
bread.
pita bread, right? Because in Greece, what they do is they'll take meat and they'll layer it, and
In a
then
stack?
cook it, and
Right.
then they'll shave it
Shave it,
off.
right.
Here, it's processed, and then they make it into process into a cone, and then they cook it and they
Right.
take it off. In Greece, they literally it's layers
Layered
of
meat. So each layer is marinated, and then they
Yes.
layer it on
Yes.
in Italian. It's a
Vertical
Then it's
sardine.
stacked
Yeah.
and then
Yeah,
cut.
And I think the only reason why it's not allowed here because it's probably a health code violation.
It's gotta be.
because they're
Yeah.
stacking
gotta
shit
be.
like it's
because
on
the
top of
inside, because like the
It is a huge. Listen, I'm a chef, dude. I do this all my life. It is a huge health risk.
yes,
Seriously, dude.
Yes.
Because the amount of
they're
hours
going
it
through
takes
it
you to
too,
prepare it and the amount of hours it takes you to cook that keeps that thing in the
Properly.
danger zone so fucking long.
Yes,
Yeah.
the middle of it.
The
is,
middle has got to be
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
I would probably core that middle out and throw it away.
But in Greece,
me
they
and
get
you
away
both.
with it. They are
because their
constantly
bodies
in
can
it.
accept
well,
it.
people
probably.
are eating it.
But they also go through it too. I mean,
It's
typically,
faster.
it's a 4-hour period that you need to get it cooked. They're done. Typically, these people are going through it because they're selling gyros left and right or gyros left and right.
It's funny you say that too, Bill, because here's the deal. When not to knock Americans, I'm not, but for every Greek person who would understand how to put that cone and prepare it properly, you have 4 or 5 employees who don't,
No.
and they're the risk. It's not the Greek. It's not the Greek people. It's not the people who understand the culture, no matter what culture you're in. It's not them. It's the people who don't respect it or understand it who make that a dangerous situation because they're not handling it with the pride. They're not handling it with the passion they should. They're not understanding why or what temperatures you should be doing this in. They're not paying attention to the outcome because when you're making this in your country, for your country people, the people expect it to be done a right way because they want to eat it a right way. That's the outcome they're looking for. It just so happens that outcome also is safe.
Yeah.
So if they're not worried about the outcome here, they're not worried about the safety of it either.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So in order for it not to spoil, right, you have to do it right.
Period. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here, they don't understand. A lot of people don't. The majority doesn't. I'm not saying everybody by any means, but there's a lot more risk factor here when you're in a melting pot of people instead of just people who understand it. It's easy to go to Greece and have everyone understand Greek food and how to cook it. It's hard to be the only Greek guy in a restaurant here and 5 of your employees are not, and they're trying as hard as they can to understand it, but they just simply don't because they didn't grow up in it. Same thing in an Italian kitchen. And that's where Italian-American food became so popular is because it was able to be, for all those who didn't really understand it, it was still good enough to get by at a level people could understand. So that's why we have such a difference of Italian food versus Italian food.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But in Greeks, it's the same way. Now, when you go to, how hard do you find it when whenever you guys throw down with some Greek food at your restaurant, you bring me out some. Some of it I love most, and 90% of it. Sometimes it's okay.
Yeah.
But I think the more traditional, the more I think you have to grow up to like that.
Yeah.
Well, just like the traditional spanakopita and tiroba that's actually made with homemade phyllo, not the store-bought phyllo. Like my mom taught me years ago how to make my own phyllo. I roll it out when we cook for our family dinners. I roll it out myself. I don't buy the store-bought phyllo.
You got to roll it.
It's
a process.
It's a hell of a process.
Yeah, it's
process.
paper thin.
Yeah.
And then put all the ingredients together. But
you can tell the
difference is
tremendous.
night and day.
Yeah.
But 9 out of 10 people aren't going to know that because they're used to the phyllo that's already
Frozen.
store-bought. And, they're going to be like, oh, this is
the
good.
store-bought phyllo doesn't really fucking rise properly. It doesn't have the air layers that it needs.
Yeah.
It doesn't crisp up properly and still have that moisture level inside.
Yeah.
To where
It's
it's
more
crispy
dry.
but yet still moist. It's dry.
Yeah.
Right? It's like a wafer. Stacked wafers that just get, because it's been, once you freeze something and recook it, it's going to
The moistures. Yeah.
So making your own phyllo is a process. For anyone who doesn't know how to do it, look it up online. Just go to how to make it at your own fucking
And
pace.
how long, how long does that take?
You'll see how many
Yeah, I
times.
mean,
you-
Well,
So
it's
you
a
get
process,
used to
yeah.
it because like I
Just
said,
like
I've
making
learned to do
bread.
it.
yeah,
But
and
you're-
each layer, it's
you're
layer
rolling
after
it out,
layer
yeah.
after layer.
And you need to make a traditional spanakopita in the round pan like my mom used to make. I use 12 layers of phyllo. So it takes me about, 40 minutes to make the phyllo. And then after that, I got to put everything together because I put, so it's called, actually from where my mom's from, it's called prasopita, which means green. So we put leeks, spinach, green onion, any type of greens you can put in there. I don't like dill.
sure
Some
you would
people
love
dig
that.
I would
dill.
love that.
It's so good.
Well, I do like
delicious.
green.
Feta
Oh,
cheese,
okay.
a little bit of ricotta,
Not my
a little
priority.
ricotta cheese,
Oh, yeah.
lots of butter.
Well, Bill, the next time you make this, let me in
Yeah,
on the secret.
I, we
Yeah,
can
it's
take,
wanna eat
we,
this
can, we
shit.
can be there.
I'd definitely
But
bring
what you
some.
need to see is like if we should have what they have here, for example, with the frozen phyllo,
No
and then
comparison.
You should
Yeah.
compare. That would
Yeah.
actually
Oh,
be
it's
really good.
nice.
Do a show on it.
Okay.
even,
For real.
Even
Let's
the
try it.
way,
Why not?
Fun.
yeah, even the way it cooks is like just completely different.
Oh, I'm sure.
Completely different.
Yeah.
But
Well,
amazing. And you can find some good product that's frozen, but
It's
I
not
know
the same.
he knows.
you can tell.
The
Yeah, you can
majority of
always
people
tell.
probably don't know.
Yeah.
Like you're in the industry, you would know what's
Right.
this and what's
Yeah.
that for sure.
Definitely.
So good. Well, when did you guys open the first restaurant? How did that go?
So our diner in Midlothian, Virginia, opened back in 2004.
Okay.
As our original, that's when we started our brand.
But this
Brick House
all,
Diner.
but this all starts back in probably the late '80s, no, early '90s,
late 80s.
My dad opened up a restaurant in Chesapeake, Virginia,
Ah,
and it was called Four Brother Steakhouse.
Yeah.
And he was there for 16 years,
wow.
and it was we did okay, but there was 4 boys that my dad was trying to raise, and all we did was raise hell and eat.
Yeah. a lot.
So he was just barely
out of house and
Yeah, he was
home,
just
yeah.
like literally we had a restaurant so we can eat. You know what I mean? So he did they did their part. They did well. What we learned was obviously from
Yeah.
what we learned in that kitchen. When he was ready to, my dad was ready to kind of retire and sit back, and my mom was done with the restaurant business, and we obviously didn't want it, but now here we are all these years later,
Nobody,
right back
I don't think
into
anybody
it.
wants it until you're old enough to understand and respect that it is who you are and it made you. And what
That's
would we
exactly
be doing?
what it is.
What would we be doing otherwise?
I ask myself that all the time.
I tried other things. I tried other things, and it always brought me back.
But there's always
or
a
in trouble.
passion.
Yeah.
There's always a passion in what we do.
Yeah.
We do what we do because we enjoy doing it. I mean, there's nothing, I would choose anything else. I mean, I really enjoy doing what I do, but you got to have the passion, especially in today's society, even though you lose a little bit of passion because of, the generation now that we got coming in for employees or cooks or, whatever the situation may be has changed, but you still got to have the passion for the restaurant business because it's not easy.
Well, in the generations, it's a good thing you speak of. And when you're talking about cooking the food and upholding the traditions, and your youth coming up, are your youth in the Greek community still interested in cooking and carrying on that traditions, or is it faded?
It's fading.
I believe it's faded, and I believe
How can they fade? It's a fucking flavor does not fade.
They just don't want it. They don't want to deal with it.
They don't want to work.
No.
They don't want to cook.
I enjoy cooking.
Find me some 20-year-olds that want to cook.
Well, it's not even that, bro. But look, if you're making spanakopita and you want some,
Please.
right? And you know you got to make it someday. Who else is gonna fucking make it? You just stop eating
Well,
it. I don't
just
want it no
No,
more.
Well,
they're
that's-
gonna go buy it.
That's just like I told you, my aunt, she's 77. She still works with us. and she still prepares
She
some of
hangs
the
out. She don't do no work.
She hangs. You're right.
She
She
pretend-
kind of
well,
hangs
just-
out.
she
She puts her
just let
hands in
work.
things. Let's say
We
that.
love her
She
to death,
touches
man.
things.
Yeah,
It's fine.
and her
W.
hands are
She
golden.
checks things. Yeah, she checks things.
Whatever she
Quality
touches
control.
is
She's
totally
quality
gold. Yes,
control.
for sure.
There you go.
But it's like, man, I can't. Like, even though I can do what she does, I can't make it like she makes it.
Right. That's.
I mean, my
before that saying,
mom and her sister have the same bread recipe, but two
It
different.
tastes the same or
two-
tastes
yeah,
different.
they're different.
Wow.
Plus, you also got to remember the nostalgia has a lot to do with that.
Yeah, well,
Because no one's ever going to make it like my Aunt Ellie or anybody
Yeah,
else who
right.
made this
Yeah,
food when I
yeah,
was
it's
little.
always, yeah.
I could probably, without question, with all my skill and what I've been doing in my life, I could probably outcook her
everything else, right?
everything all the
not
way
gonna
around. But
taste.
when she cooks for me, though, still,
right. Wow.
nothing's better.
Yeah.
But if we were to put ourselves compared to compared, she's afraid to cook for me now because of who I am. And I'm like, you should never say some shit like that.
Yeah.
Because I
No doubt.
absolutely still, from a little boy, that from what it is, that really resonated with me.
Nostalgia's a good.
Even
yeah.
though she was my aunt and I was able to have that food as you would when you go to your aunt's or whatever.
Yeah.
But it was all of my family, but hers specifically always sits with me. And though I can cook my ass off, just a simple ravioli with a pomodoro sauce that she makes is out of this world.
Yeah.
But maybe if I never had it before growing up and I tasted it now, I'd be like, it's ravioli. But I think because it meant so much to me all growing up,
The
Because
total.
your
I
body
can't-
gets used to it, just like any other
your brain
place.
stuck
Yeah.
on it, right?
Yeah.
It's stuck on this is the best.
Yeah.
And that's the best part about talking about food. I've been talking about food with you guys since 1997.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah, no, because the first place I opened was on the oceanfront years ago after my dad closed the restaurant in Chesapeake, and you came and showed us how to make chicken marsala.
I remember
that
that.
little place right
Yep.
over
So
there.
funny.
You had a catering event or something,
Yeah.
and I came in to have breakfast with you or something.
Yeah.
You're like, hey, I'm trying to do
I
this.
just never made it before. I was 18 years old. I'd never
Yeah.
made chicken marsala from
And I
scratch.
did, did I make the whole thing with you?
Yeah.
I made the whole.
Yeah.
You catered that, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Royalties.
That's
Yeah,
where you
you're
started,
royalties,
man.
yeah.
That's where it
Yeah.
all started.
That's
It started just
So I was
downhill
cooking with
from there.
Andrea La Bella Italia, his mother's at that time. We were
Yeah.
20s in our 20s back
Yeah.
then. Plus, I'd already been cooking before then. As obviously,
Yeah.
I've been cooking most of my life, all my paid life since I was 13, 14 years old, is working.
Yeah.
But here I am now, and here we are now. And
We are.
what do you when it comes to? I know as we get older, all of a sudden, we look into our heritage. Like all of a sudden, I'm Mr. Italian, and you guys are Mr. Greek. But all growing up, yeah, we were Greek, we were Italian, whatever. But now that we're getting older, we're looking at our heritage and being like, oh shit, we got to preserve this. We got to do our part. You think that's always been going on, and that's always going to happen? It can't just go away, right?
Well, it can't go away, but I think it's also about raising our youth.
Yeah.
Like my kids now, our parents taught us, try to stick to traditions. And I married an American girl, out of our tradition, but she stays up more with our faith, taking the kids to church.
She does. She's
Doing-
very active.
Yeah, and she does more than I actually do because I'm usually at the restaurant or whatever. And it's about the way we teach our kids to raise them. And
I think your wife gets she gets her Greek by proxy. What does he call it? She won her Greek card.
Oh yeah, she has her Greek card.
She has her
yeah,
Greek card.
yeah.
Yeah. She speak Greek yet?
No, she understands a lot of it. She speaks very little, but no, she doesn't.
But she's in it. She's
It all
involved.
boils down to us doing our part with our kids, like
Yeah,
our
sure.
parents did
Yeah,
with
Sure.
us.
exactly, yeah.
But it's hard, dude. I try
Very
to do it
hard.
still with my kids.
Very
They don't
hard.
give a fuck.
Yeah.
It's not like I did. Well, I can't say that. That's not true. My kids absolutely fucking love pasta and they love daddy
They
pasta.
do love. They love daddy pasta.
love their
'cause that's what
pasta
they ask
Sunday,
for
and they-
here, even at the restaurant, they go back and ask.
They,
for
they
that.
love the pasta. So I can't say my kids don't love it. They absolutely love it and
Yeah.
look forward to it. They're not into the process yet.
Yeah.
They're
how
not
to
into
make
the sitting
it.
at the table and
Yeah.
passing around. They are.
So do
They're
you cook
getting
at
there.
home too?
Yeah, I do.
You do.
Not a
So
lot.
see, that's what I don't really cook at home.
I only cook at home on Sundays. I'll cook pasta. I'll try and do a pasta dinner. Or
Yeah.
I always got a pasta. I
dish.
eat pasta every day anyway. Some form of it. You know what I mean? I don't understand. It's spaghetti and meatballs. I don't eat that. But I eat pasta of some form every day.
Right.
Even if it's just a couple spoonfuls. If I don't, I might as well be dead. It's
That's how my mom
Gotta
used
get
to
your
be.
fix,
She would
right?
never
Yeah.
get full if she didn't have bread every day with her
Yeah.
meal.
That's another thing. Italians and Greeks are all about that bread.
Gotta have it.
Gotta have the bread.
Bread.
If I was
Yeah.
told, if the doctor told me I had to cut gluten out if I got like celiac or something like that,
I just
I'm not
died.
kidding you. I don't know what the fuck I would do.
No, you'd eat bread
I
without
don't,
any
what the
gluten in
quality
it.
of life is
I don't know. You got to
Yeah.
find something
I don't know.
Yeah.
gluten free.
It'd be
That's my
tough to do.
celiac.
That'd
I
be
would have to fucking do it.
hard. It'd be tough to do.
I don't know what I would do, man. I
But we
really
also
don't
know the
what I would do.
difference. There's a difference. We talked about this in the pastas and the breads, like making it with the organic, like the flour that doesn't have any of the crap in it. So most people can travel to other countries and eat the pizza, the pasta, the bread, whatever, and not get sick. It's because we, here it just makes you sick.
The good news in Europe with Greece, Italy, France, most of Europe is they're underneath the European standard, so they're all getting that quality product because it has to be sold throughout Europe on the same standard.
Yeah.
So if we get something from Texas, it's still produced by the laws of American standard. So you can get just as much shit from Texas as you can here, or you can get just as good as you can here, depending on how much money you want to spend. Over there, the standard's the same in each country. So if I get something from Greece to cook in Italy, it's going to be of good quality and it's going to be on the same standard.
Yeah.
The wheats, like you said, the pasta and the dough and all that shit is very important.
None of the pesticides and all the shit that's put on it. Yeah.
Every country needs a pesticide, but a controlled one. There's a huge difference in what they're allowed to get away with and what they're.
Yeah. They have
again,
stricter standards.
It goes back to the meat cone, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
People over there aren't going to allow themselves to put shit on food because it's so important.
Yep.
The food, the final product is so important. They wouldn't want to bastardize that.
Yeah.
And that's a culture that I wish would start striking in America more. America, we eat to eat. You know what I mean? We eat to eat sometimes. And,
Yeah.
it's great. But so in your restaurants now, you're in the same struggle as everybody else. Employees, staffing, purveyors, high cost of everything. How hard is it for you guys right now? I can sit here and talk about me having to put a $65 lamb chop on my menu. Cooked at the level we're cooking it here is a little bit different.
Yep.
But how are you getting by trying to survive and pay your bills on a cheeseburger when the cheeseburger costs you so much fucking money? What would you tell the people out there? My goal, what I tell them is, shut up and spend the money. There's nothing we can do about it.
Just like you got your hands up like that right now, that's exactly how we are. We're like, I mean, if it came to me cheaper, you would get it cheaper, but.
Exactly. They think we're all out here trying to, they think we're gold. Look, the restaurant industry fucking 25 years ago, people were gold minded.
Yes.
When
Yes.
restaurant owners were wearing gold chains and Cadillacs, that was real. And that wasn't a lot of work to do that. We were just gold. Money was coming in hand over fist because you can get a bag of flour for $12 and make 65 pizzas for
sure.
$20. You know, there was a difference when you could buy pounds of chicken for fucking $2.99 or eggs at fucking 12 cents a piece. That's what was happening back then. And we were not charging much less than we are now, right?
That's right.
So, yes, profitability back then was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Now the profit margins are the fucking this big.
Yeah.
Well, that has to do with everything. It has to do with where you're at, your location, the price of rents, leases, and all that.
Sure.
And then at the end of the day, we just got to pass it down to the consumer because that's all we can do to stay in business, and there's nothing else we can do.
And we're not individually passing it down to the consumer as if we're punishing them just for coming to our spot. This is a natural, this is how it is.
Yeah.
This is how it is everywhere. We're all on the same standard. Everyone tries to operate at that 30%.
Yeah.
But I see that that's going to change. We're not going to be able to operate that anymore.
No.
That's going to have to rise.
If you're operating at 30 now,
It's tough.
You're
I'm
on
right on the
for you.
cusp between
Yeah.
29 and 33.
Yeah.
I'm trying to stay there. But just with your employee, you almost have to remove the employee rate out of that. You know what I'm saying? Because that now people are getting paid so much to work that's taken away from that percentage. It's almost impossible to operate on that 30% business model as we used to because the business model back then was different. The percentage, we had a lot more room for flaw.
Yeah.
Right now, there's no room to move, man.
Yeah, not at all.
and to making mistakes.
Yeah.
Like, you got to cut your costs, and try to eliminate mistakes in the kitchen, eliminate your waste, right?
Correct.
Because that's when stuff goes up, you just got to eliminate as much waste as you can. Cut the tomato a little bit this way, try to
Get closer to the stem. Stop wasting half the tomato, getting rid of the top.
Yeah, whatever you
Things
can
like
do
that,
to
right.
just kind of, keep that bottom line where it is. And
And with us, it's like the rack of lamb, for instance. My lamb is very expensive for me. It costs me a lot of money. There's very little profit margin. I have the lamb on the menu, so the customers coming in here can come in here while other people get the other things. We separate, we spread the margins around the menu. So we kind of make it all work out that way. But when we have the lamb that costs so much just to satisfy the palate, you fuck that lamb up one time and you just lost profitability for that whole rack.
that's it. Yeah.
It's gone.
You're in,
So
you're
that's
in the
it.
pocket.
So
now.
you're really you're going to always make a little bit of money, but you're not going to make a lot of money to make profit. So one lamb goes wrong, one send back, one fucking mishap, bad news. You know what I mean? Bad news. So we don't have that freedom of maneuvering around.
Yeah.
So when's the next Greek trip?
I was discussing with my brother. Now he don't know yet, but we're gonna try to get
Surprise.
us the 4 brothers to go to Greece for about 10 days, 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's gonna be
Surprise,
tough.
surprise.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Yeah, we're gonna try to not any, probably fall, November,
That's amazing.
right around that time.
That'll be a good time.
We usually go summertime.
Yeah.
We've never been that time of the year, so we're gonna try to make that trip.
That'll be
If you guys, anybody in the comments, you have any questions about the Greek culture or their food or any phyllo stuff, drop a little something in the comments there. We'll gladly answer them. And where can they find you guys? Who wants to speak on that? Where can they get you on social medias? Where can people connect
go
with you?
visit the restaurant.
I don't have any social media. That's
the
just
rest
me.
of-
How about the
What
restaurant?
restaurant?
The restaurant, yeah.
Brick House Diner 04 is a restaurant in Richmond and Midlothian. BrickHouseDiner.com is all our 3 of our locations. And Brick House Diner Virginia Beach on Instagram and Facebook and here in Virginia Beach. So,
Awesome.
yeah.
Cool. So get in there. Brick House Diner. You'll probably see me there in Virginia Beach a couple times a week, a few times a week if you go there at the right time. I won't tell you when that is. I'll let it be a surprise. Anything you want to say to anybody getting in this business? Anything any last words you put out there to anybody out there? It could be nothing.
The restaurant business is very tough, and I think a lot of people don't understand that. Along with, with trying to do your best in the restaurant business, and on different scales. Obviously, here you are with this beautiful restaurant here, and you do your lamb chops, and we do a simple cheeseburger in a sense, and it's just so tough all the way around. And I think
It's the same struggle.
For sure.
if everybody in Greece, everybody when you get out of high school, you got to do 18 months of military standard.
Period.
I think here you should have to do 2 weeks of the restaurant business.
Yeah. Or
this
the
country.
military.
Oh,
One of the two.
instead of the military, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Instead,
This is your military.
because once you work in the restaurant business, I think you start to realize and understand a lot
100%.
more. And there's a lot of people that obviously haven't. And I think the struggles with a lot of our business is the customer just not understanding, and your staff in a sense till they start to understand.
For every successful restaurant, there's the minority are the ones that are actually passionate and the ones keeping the thing going. It's a lot of stress and a lot of pressure on them. Everyone else that works there is great, but they're not so much into it as a career. They're into it as their moment for whatever it is they're doing. And, and that's good too. We have great team members depending on where you're at.
Oh yeah,
But,
for sure.
It's a lot of stress on the passionate people, typically the owners and the management or the career chefs or career wait staff. The people who are not leaving anytime soon are the ones that feel the pressure. But for everyone else who doesn't understand, when they come in and write these bullshit reviews and all their nonsense and all the shit they want to say, it's ridiculous, and what they need to do is just shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Seriously, just shut up.
Yeah, there we go.
mean,
That's
Learn a little bit about something. Get some culture to yourself.
Yeah, I mean, just kind of exactly educate yourself a little bit about it, and you'll understand a little bit more. And if you don't, then maybe you should just stay home and eat.
Stay
I don't know what to
home.
tell you.
Exactly.
Stay
Make your
home and
reheated
eat.
frozen food.
We
You'll be
we
fine.
appreciate your business, but we don't appreciate all the bullshit that comes with it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, listen, thanks for coming, guys.
We
If
thank
you like
you.
our
Thanks
for
show,
having
please
us.
hit like, subscribe, support us, support locals, support your local restaurants, your local people, your local shops, mechanic shops that serve lamb broth, fucking pasta.
pot.
Support everybody.
When we do this again, Bill's gonna make a spanakopita with,
Yes, please.
and then we'll bring one in that
Yeah,
way. And then,
absolutely.
I'm actually really disappointed you didn't show up with it.
Yeah,
So
right.
that kinda
Show up
made me
next time.
sad.
Come on, man.
It's
What the
okay.
fuck?
Come on,
I mean,
man.
come on.
Shit. All right, that sounds great. Awesome talk today. Greek for life. Go
Yeah,
get
Greek.
it.
Yeah.
Ciao for now.
Ciao.